Okay guys, so Steve's kind of taken some time out today to bead roll the panel up for us. There's been a lot of questions, like we said earlier, about the diamonds in the panels. A lot of people have had a go, which is nice to see people having a go.
A lot of people are gobsmacked and doing it by hand, not electric.
And the panel buckles like mad, doesn't it?
Hopefully, yeah, you watch this panel won't show me now. I'm just going to give a run through on very basic marking out, and then quickly go through on the smaller swager, because that one's easier to film on, to show roughly how it's done. On basic marking out for the diamonds, ideally you want a 1-inch border to stay away from the edge, because what happens if you go too close with the diamonds, the edge buckles. So for that, it is literally, it's not teaching you to suck eggs, but there are a lot of people that do still get it wrong. Rule to the edge of this metal on all 4 sides. Decent size radius washer. Place it on. Black line to black line. Gives you the perfect swage line. And if you keep these even, you'll always end up with the same size 1-inch border around all your steel. You don't end up with tight radiuses, sharper ones. Just keeps it uniform, because there's nothing worse than having a panel that's got a nice roll on one and a sharper one on the other. So once you've got it based, that's your 1-inch border. Always start near a corner. So what we do is we'll put in the 1-inch border first. When going around the bend, it really isn't fast. This handle will barely move to go around this bend. It'll probably be 1/10 of a turn. And you just guide it round, and you're more pulling the steel instead of turning the handle. And then when you get on the straight, a nice steady, constant crank back into the bend, gentle roll again. And then on the longer straights, get yourself in a position where you're comfortable, where I'm not comfortable at the moment, but let's see how it goes. And just keep a constant roll. Little movements on the steel, and then back into the bend again. And then once again, this is almost, it's barely even turning. As you can see, it's not much. Nice and smooth down the straight. Now this bit, you really do want to make sure you exit on the line perfectly, because you need to line back up. Take it steady as you go down. As you get near, back off half a turn. And just roll it in gently, and see how it fell in? You can then back off and go back, and now go full nip down. And that will make sure that it guides through and lines back up with no snags. This one, as you can see on the work, if you try to swage this one, you'll very quickly run into the corner. So this is why this would be done on the bigger swager. But this one's easier to show you on the little one. So, nip it in. Nice roll. Just stop before you're about to roll onto the other swage. Drop back down. You'll slowly learn your machine with how many nips it's between there and there, depending. Need to put one more in it to do a cross. One thing you want to do is always go over whatever shape or border or pattern you're doing, do a dummy run first through the swager to make sure you can always get it, because you could very end up easily coming round on a panel and smacking. Now when it comes to this one, going across, nip down, same as always, but when you swage it, you'll fall into your rut, and it does take some force, and that's where you've got to be careful you don't over roll. As you can see, the panel's now starting to change and buckle. Not as much as the first one I ever done for Tom, where I deliberately ruined it. But already you can see how that panel is changing. And it gets worse when you've got shapes that go around corners with the diamonds. It gets worse. And some of them are stiff. And if I just grab a cloth with a little bit of thinners on and just remove all the blacking out. Because sometimes you'll see where you can go. So like that one could have a little bit more put on. That one I wouldn't push because you're on a corner. That's the pretty side. That's the marked side.